You know, people have kept asking me when I was gonna play again. When was I gonna play again? I've heard this phrase every few weeks for basically the past year, including my own cousins, my coworkers. I can't escape it. This game keeps calling my name wherever I go because I have left an inevitable mark on it, and it has me by the neck. So I guess we're here again, and we are here with a purpose and a goal, if you will. Hiya, hiya, hiya. So it's me again, and today we're back on the funny mushroom game. And as with any return, I decided to check all the new updates, the new masteries coming out, the new regions, and what sort of QOL changes they were making. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of things were nice, but I wasn't particularly interested in them except for one specific system that they're bringing in KMS. That is Legion Champion, because it rewards players for having multiple characters at a very high level, and rewards players for being indecisive like I am. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to progress a Champion Legion and finish all the work that I've started. I liked my Hyperion progression series, but I didn't get as far as I hoped. I liked Cannoneer, but obviously I dropped the cannon, and I want to return to Cannoneer. I liked my Marksman, but I hated farming on it. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to string everything together in one beautiful series, if you will. So you can consider this to be episode 1 of progressing my Champion Legion. So for those of you who are unaware, Champion Legion is a system that takes 6 characters of your choosing in your Legion over the level of 260 and gives bonus stats to those 6 characters depending on what bosses those characters can solo in 20 minutes. There are specific checkpoints, I'll put them on the screen now. And the 6 characters in question have to be different classes, and you have to be over 8.5k Legion to unlock the system. Now the system is only available in KMS right now, we don't have it in GMS, but we know that this means that it's going to be coming to GMS in a few months, which means that we're going to have to prepare if we want a bunch of high level characters as the system comes out. So you might be asking, what 6 classes are you going to choose to progress your Champion Legion? And I would like to think of this as Aked, the Arrows Tour, where essentially I'm going to be playing all of the classes that I have felt very strongly for. This includes Cannoneer, Marksman, Dual Blade, Bowmaster, Buccaneer, and I wanted to give Khali a shot, and I have been enjoying it a lot recently, so Khali is also going to be included 6. And for all of the people who are going to be crying in the comments about, whoa, what class are you going to main? What class are you going to main? I will be maining all 6, but if I had to choose one out of the 6, it would probably be either the CM or the Khali, but probably Khali. Now, I have been doing quite a bit of groundwork before I'm even posting this video to make sure that my account is in a state where I can make reasonable progress on all 6 characters each passing week. I have been playing since November when they released the 2 Hyperburns. So I decided to Hyperburn my Cannoneer because I am comfortable with the class and I know that I can boss with the class. And I Hyperburned a Shade because there was a Hyperburn between Aaron and Shade, and you know every day of the year I am picking Shade because I really like crit damage, and I don't like having a character that sits on my account and does nothing all day. So here we are, back on the Marksman, just as you remember it. And I'm going to use this first video to show what I've initially been working on and how I plan to progress going forward. So my Marksman has gotten a fair bit stronger since the last time that you guys have seen him. He's now level 273. He's actually equipping his 5-set arcane, and everything in his inventory is at least 17, including the arcanes. He does have a 20-star top, 19-star pants, and a 20-star belt. He has also gotten a Fairy Heart now, which has 3-line stat. And now that we are in a new world of Maple, I'll go by combat power instead of stat. So for anybody curious, in drop gear, this combat power is 30 mil. But if I swap to my bossing preset, this combat power goes all the way to 45. And if I use familiars, I need essence. Goes all the way to 47.5 mil. His inner is completed. Got 1 attack speed, 18 crit rate, and 6 boss. I just need to use Chaos Circulators to roll the inner. And we've also got a drop preset on the inner because that's also a thing now. A lot of things have changed from the time that I've been gone. And this character also happens to have a Ring of Restraint 4 in its possession, which makes it very, very strong against bosses. In case if anybody's curious about this thing's 5th job progression, these are what my nodes look like. We are missing some levels on Guided Arrow, and a lot of levels on Fury of the Wild. Some levels missing on Blink and Maple World Goddess. So this character still can get some strength from maxing on its 5th job. And our 6th job looks like this. We got 14 snipe, 14 split shot, 4 on repeating cartridge, 4 on perfect shot, and 4 on the origin. Also got 4 on the 2nd mastery. So there's a lot to Marksman that gives it damage. That's why I'm kind of splitting my levels. And of course we got Janice to level 1. I absolutely love this ability. My god, does it make farming on every class so much better. I can't talk about Janice enough. I love this ability. If I were to ever progress vertically on a character, the first thing I would do is get this to level 30. This thing is so sick. And my Hexa stat is 5, 5, 10 on the Marksman. Nothing particularly special. I rolled this a long time ago, so getting anything above 5 was very difficult. This character can solo C10E, albeit it does struggle quite a bit. It takes me around 17 minutes to take down Vihila and around 20 for Slime. Which isn't that great. It does get everything down in 2 hours, but it's still worth for me to do because 5.5 mil is a lot of money for where I'm at. Especially considering that a lot of this character's gear can be upgraded quite easily, if you will. 2 last things to note on my Marksman before I go to the next character is the Sacred and Arcane Force. So obviously we have the Odium symbol for hitting 270, and we're almost approaching the Sacred Force that we need to do full damage to Saren, so that's pretty awesome. And our Arcane Force is nearly maxed. We've got 1 level off of everything, but once we get that, we are max Arcane Force, and I don't have to worry about dailies on this thing anymore, which is also great. Granted, this thing already has 1350 Arcane Force, so I am getting the 1.5x damage on all of the bosses, which is really, really awesome. And familiar-wise, this character has a 20% boss familiar, a 30% IED familiar. I also have another 15 IED familiar, but for now I'm just using a hybrid of HP restoration so that I don't die out like a clumsy fool in bosses. I am currently farming on the Marksman to get it to 275 so that I can unlock the Shangri-La symbol, and so that I can try to get my Sacred Force to 250 because I want this character to be doing Saren so that I can try my shot at an emblem. And the reason why I'm grinding this character to 275 is because I'm going to be grinding all 6 of my champions to level 275. And the reason for this, well, actually, there's a few. One, because familiars are dropping in Hotel Arcus, and Hotel Arcus is viable all the way to 275. 2, so that I can get started on all of the character symbols. 3, so that I can garner a lot more income. If I have a lot of high-level characters that are doing C10, my income to upgrade gear will go up exponentially. And 4, so that I have a whole bunch of content when I stream. So before I start saying anything about my Cannoneer, you'll notice that I have stopped it at level 275. I have grinded this character with Hyper Burning, and it took me 51 days to get here. So, you can see my Cannoneer is 275, Marksman 273, Khali is level 260, and the Buccaneer, Bowmaster, and Blademaster are all under 260 for right now. Now, when I get my Marksman to 275, that's when I'm going to start moving on to the Khali and doing the same thing. And the reason why I also like doing it like this is so that I can also get a start on the 6th job for each of the classes. That initial bump in damage from just unlocking your 6th job is absolutely massive. It's huge. And obviously unlocking Janus and all of these other things to make farming easier is also good. And considering that we have a lot of events to promote the leveling of characters from 200 to even 270 is why I kind of want to stay in this level range, because it is the most efficient. Only once I get everything to 275 will I go above and beyond for that. Now, I don't necessarily have link skill transfers to do such a thing for my Cannoneer, but my Cannoneer does hit 67 million combat power. This thing is the strongest on my account right now. Some notable things that it has is a 21 star top, 21 star bottom, 21 star hat, 22 star belt. This is my drop preset. 22 star earring, a 21 star ring. It also does have a very nice secondary with 2-line attack, 1-line boss. And it has a Cont 4 and a Roar 4 right up here. It has Weapon Jump 2, but right now I am using Cont 4. I do find it to be more consistent. If I do get a Weapon Jump 3, that's probably when I'll make the switch. But for right now, Mortar and Cannon Buster are doing a lot of damage. And that's kind of how I've been going about bossing on this character. It does have 2 inner presets. Both have attack speed +1. This one has 15 meso and 10 drop. Second is best in slot with 10 boss, 8 abnormal damage, and attack speed +1. I spent a lot of honor to try to finish this thing's inner. Previous event really helped with that. In terms of familiars, this guy has gotten pretty lucky, I would say. Considering that I've only been farming fams to 275, it has a 20% boss familiar with large healing to nearby allies. Another large healing to nearby allies with 20 IED, and 6% attack with 3 damage. So, all in all, I'd say it's pretty good. The 20 IED is obviously the weakest, but it's still appreciated on Cannoneer because Cannoneer does have relatively low base IED. So I would equate all of this to basically having like 60 boss. The V matrix on this character is basically maxed. Everything's at 25. Maybe everything is missing like a level or 2. Nothing really to note here. And in terms of the Hexa matrix, we put a few levels in Mortar, and basically all of our levels into Cannon Barrage and Cannon of Mass Destruction, because that is where basically 70% of the class's damage comes from. Obviously, we have a point into Janus, because Janus farming is incredible, And we've unlocked everything else because I like colors. The hexastat on this character is probably the worst it could ever be. This hexastat is trash. And I probably should change the main stat to be crit damage. And then put the attack to level 9. But that is a future me problem. In terms of Arcane Force, this character is almost maxed. I should be maxing it in a few days, which is awesome because I don't like doing Arcane dailies on this character. And in terms of Sacred Force, it's technically at 310. Reason why I say technically is because this character still has the Infinite Flame title going, which really just goes to show how fast progression is in this game in comparison to what I'm used to. And obviously, level 275, so it's got a lot of hyper stats and a lot of base stats going into it. Next up is the Khali, and this is where things are gonna start falling off, but eventually when I start actually focusing on these characters, it will start to look a lot more coherent, and they'll start doing a lot more bosses. Now, notable things that this Khali has. Aurora 4. This thing has been getting carries for maybe 2 weeks at most, and it got insanely lucky, so here we are. Another thing that this character got insanely lucky with, the secondary. Absolutely incredible, double prime, 21 attack and 40 boss. Now, it isn't on a Pino secondary, so very, 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 very far down the future, I might have to replace it. But for a very long time, this is finished. And besides that, this character doesn't really have any notable equips. Everything is at 17 stars besides the Absolab pieces, because I am going to be replacing these very soon with Arcanes, because this character is already strong enough to do all of C10 in a party, so getting my boxes is not going to be difficult. In terms of combat power, this character is at 17 mil. Granted, it goes to 19 when I have links and everything up. Yeah, this is my damage preset. Okay, yeah, it does go up to 19 mil, usually. When I'm bossing, this goes to 19 mil. In terms of familiars, nothing special. It has an item drop rate and a small meso drop rate familiar. I was using this when I first started because I didn't have any drop gear, but now I do, so this is practically worthless. And for its damage familiars, in quotation marks, it's just 45 IED for now. This character's Arcane Force is just enough to do 1.5 on Will, and just short to do 1.3 on Vihila. So we're very close to the big 1.3 threshold, which gives a lot of damage. And I'm looking forward to that because it'll make party bossing on this thing a lot easier. And in terms of Sacred Force, I just unlocked Cernium on this thing a few days ago, which also means that this thing's Hexamatrix is not looking too hot. I have a level into the Split, Rush, and Blitz, because these abilities are very important. Obviously, Origin is unlocked because Origin, and Janus because I like farming. Hexastat isn't unlocked on this character yet, so kind of waiting on that because I think the enhancements are more important. The 5th job on this character also needs some work, so node stones are very high priority. As you can see, Last Resort is level 18, Holy Symbol is level 14, Fountain is level 20, Conversion Overdrive is 11, Erdo Nova level 11. Like, a lot of the actual skills besides the boosts and the actual Khali skills are not leveled. Now, this character will shape up a lot more once I finish on my Marksman, because this is the next character that I'm going to be farming on. I am preparing its drop gear, and I have spent meso cubing it. I have a hybrid on the base accessory. I have a a very nice hybrid on the Dominator pendant. I have double meso on the earrings. And pretty much a drop line on everything else. So once this character gets started, it will shape up a lot. Especially considering that both my Cannoneer and my Marksman are doing C10, which is at least 10 bill worth of meso income in a week, besides any of the farming that I'm doing. Now, I'm just going to do a quick speed round of the other three, because KMS Champion Legion is releasing with only 3 characters, so I haven't put an insanely high priority on these characters as of yet. I've kind of been leveling them up passively with events and through dailies. So Champion Legion is currently, or Champion Burning is going on right now. And Champion Burning only allows you to have 2 characters besides the leader in the Champion Burning. So my Bowmaster and my Dual Blade are the 2 characters that I've put inside of it. So this character has gained levels based off of that. And the equips are nothing particularly special. It hit a very nice potential in the emblem, but everything else is either 10 or 17 stars. And the Arcane Force is basically non-existent. This character can do up to a Akechi. It does have a little bit of node investment because of Champion Burning. It also does have 6 Matrix points. That is for future me to worry about. And this character's combat power basically doesn't exist. It's at 3 mil. That's all I need to say about the Bowmaster. The Dual Blade is kind of in the same spot. Same thing, level 227. Kind of an okay emblem. Kind of an okay hat. Granted, it's only 1 second instead of 2. I'm thinking about recubing this very soon, because having more cooldown is very nice. I have started Commerci on this thing, so it does have the Vessel button here. And it does have a Sweetwater Katara, which is nice. This thing is... yeah, fat-fingered. This thing's combat power, 3.4 mil, obviously inflated because it's a dual blade. It's a lot more attack and just free stats from the secondary. Inner, nothing remarkable, it's just legendary, and I think it has the start of a drop preset. And Arcane Force, also basically non-existent on this class. I haven't even started Arcana. And on to the Buccaneer. Now, the Buccaneer is a little higher level at 231. I've actually been doing dailies on this thing because I think this is the next character I'm going to farm after I finish my Khali, which is after my Marksman. Strictly because of this. I don't know what to say about this. This is a very funny hat with 3-line strength. Also has a very unremarkable emblem with some useful stats. Arcane Force is a little more real on this character because I have been doing dailies on it. But I have primarily been leveling up this character through the Tirnog Blueprint event using the EXP vouchers. And I have been leveling it using the vouchers from Ride or Die as well, because Ride or Die has been giving a lot of XP vouchers. Now, after I get this character to 235, I'm probably going to do the same thing for my Dual Blade and my Bowmaster to at least get them to 235, so that any symbols I do get on these characters, I can split evenly. Because when I unlock a Sphera on this character, it's going to be uneven, and I don't like it when symbols are uneven. And it is kind of inefficient as well, because putting levels or putting symbols into symbols that are higher level generally yields you less returns, if you will. I also want the satisfaction of being able to complete everything at once, hence why we're doing it like this. Same thing as my Dual Blade and my Bowmaster, this thing also does a Akechi, so it is making me a cool 1 bill every week. And it does finish it within, 10-15 minutes, give or take. This thing's combat power is obviously a little higher because it does have the stats from the symbols and this funny hat. Same thing as my dual-bladed bowmaster, 17 stars on a few items, everything else unremarkable, even some missing ring slots, but so be it. Inner, nothing real here, kind of just some legendary presets and the start of a drop preset, so yeah. So that's pretty much it in terms of what I've been going on, or what's been going on for my Champion Legion so far. I do also have my Hyperburn Shade over here, who's level 260. He can solo everything up to Easy Lucid. And yeah, my income a week right now is looking to be around 17 bill, which is a good amount to cube for things that may be a little more risky, or saving up for events, like a good amount. There is a 5, 10, 15 coming up on March 9th. And that's probably what I'm going to be saving for. That's going to be my main short-term goal right now, is to try to save 100 bill. By that time, I'm hoping that my Marksman is 275 and has a lot more comfier C10E clears. I'm hoping to get everything the C10E done in 90 minutes or under. And I'm hoping that during that 5, 10, 15 as well, I can also get my Khali to start soloing C10E. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but depending on how much time and effort I put in, it might be possible. And for these 3 characters, I'm hoping to get them to 235 by that time, because of course that'll unlock Asphera, and that might allow me to get trades on these characters for bosses like Lucid and Will, which will start getting these guys Arcanes. I also want to see these guys get Absols so that maybe they can solo up to Lomian by themselves, which will make me a lot more money. But in terms of long-term goals, like maybe we're talking like half a year or a year, the big goal is obviously trying to get all 6 of these characters to 275. Of course, we have no idea what sort of events are going to be coming up to help the progression of these characters. Or if there's going to be any events for grinding specifically, because grinding is where majority of the time is going. Because the journey from 260 to 275 is even more arduous than getting a character from 200 to 260, even without burning, in my honest opinion. But any sort of big accomplishments that I have, like if a character solos a specific boss, or Liberation, or any sort of events that come up, I will be leaving in the video. I'll have like a section dedicated to it. But of course, I'll start off each video going over what has changed, any sort of levels that are gained, and I'm going to be trying to be posting at least once every week. If not once every week, once every other week. Yeah. Oh, that's one more thing I probably should cover. In terms of Liberation, the 3 main, or the 3 big characters that I've got right now are starting Liberation. The other 3 obviously aren't even high enough level. My Cannoneer liberates in May. My Marksman liberates in August. And my Khali liberates in September. So these are obviously going to be huge damage gains for when those come around. But as of right now, Liberation isn't really a concern or something I should be necessarily thinking about. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. In terms of my goal for this series, is just to be consistent. If I can be consistent and make an enjoyable series that also helps you learn a lot, that's all I care about. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will always be reading them for every single video that I post. Now, I will say I'm not playing Maple as much as I used to, so the progress that you see on a week-to-week basis is not going to be as much as it used to be. I'm only farming maybe 6 to 10 hours a week, and all of my plans from my previous video still continue to be true. I do want to make content on other games as well and posting it here as well, because I have found a lot of deep interest for games besides MapleStory. It's just I haven't brought myself to actually getting to edit any of these videos. Like, I have a lot of clips and videos of stuff that I've recorded, but I've never gone around to actually doing it. Partially due to my own fault. I couldn't bring myself to do it. But here we are. This time we're committing. Hopefully we can get an upload a week, and maybe even more. Maybe even more. Who knows? But of course, as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, or I will literally delete your meso faster than Starforcing does. I appreciate it, and much love.